Okay. Where do I even start? This movie is really, really boring. And it's like shockingly boring. This movie's actually so uninteresting and okay that it actually makes me mad at it. Because it's not even really a bad movie. It's just forgettable. And in a lot of ways, that's worse. It's actually so forgettable, it almost kind of, inches over to being a bad movie. So, what's the story of this movie? As if it even matters. So, we come up on Mando and Grogu, and they're hunting down these Imperial guys that are doing stuff with the Empire. It doesn't matter. You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this movie gives no stakes to anything that Mando was doing in this mission. This doesn't matter. That's ultimately what is actually the problem. It doesn't matter. Now, here's the thing, right? Is there's one thing that I needed in Star Wars. It is to go into a new direction, okay? Because it's kind of creatively bankrupt at this point. It's just galaxy. They're not going anywhere. And what you could use is a movie that doesn't deal with the Skywalker stuff. It doesn't deal with the Jedi or the Force and blah, 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 right? You could go somewhere. You could do something new. That's kind of what this movie's trying to do. It's just trying to have a simple space adventure. But it's just not interesting at all. It's trying to have that flair that the first two seasons of The Mandalorian had. And all this movie proves is that after those two seasons, the story of these two was done. You will suffer. This is the first Star Wars movie in theaters in 7 years since The Rise of Skywalker. And they had so much time to come up with something that would have really brought Star Wars back to relevancy in the theatrical experience. And they just screwed it up. They might as well just waited for Starfighter. But here's the thing, right? Is them using this movie as the return of Star Wars in theaters is actually a good marketing standpoint. Because for the first time in a long time, The Mandalorian and Grogu was the first thing that really stuck with mainstream audiences. You have Andor, right? And a lot of people really like Andor. But Andor isn't the thing that is marketable to the general audience that watches Star Wars. No, Mandalorian and Grogu is because of Grogu. And so if you're going to bring Star Wars back to theaters, you would use that. Just simple, genius, right? But they didn't try. They didn't do anything to try. It was so pointless. Why did you make this movie? Yeah, money. You could always say that the reason was money. But if you wanted to make money, you also could have just put in effort. It just looks pretty. It's not pretty. It sucks. This movie sucks. Now, as harsh on this movie as I was, it's not a complete loss. As I said, it's not necessarily even a bad movie. It's just really forgettable. But it did do a couple of things that I appreciated. One is a pretty small one, but with how just bland this movie was, how boring this movie was, I grasped onto anything. And there was this moment where Mando and, I think Zed is his name, is the alien that Steve Bloom voices. They're getting chased by, I don't even remember. They're getting chased by some bad guys. They're getting chased by them. Grogu and Rada the Hutt are on the ship. They're on the Razor Crest or something. And Mando needs Grogu to shoot missiles. He needs him to do something with the ship. I can't even remember. He needs him to do something, but what Grogu ends up doing on accident is shooting missiles when he doesn't need to. And Mando asks Grogu to do it a couple of times, but he keeps shooting the missiles. And after a couple of times, Zed just goes, I don't think he knows what he's doing. And that got a laugh out of me. I mean, it's not amazing, but it did get a laugh out of me. I mean, it's a sight better than They Fly Now.
They fly now? They fly now!
Remember that? In the movie, they actually do give Grogu the opportunity to save Mando. that I don't even think the shows really, messed around with that idea. They flip the switch. Mando gets, kidnapped by this bounty hunter. He loses a fight against this bounty hunter and gets kidnapped. Grogu takes the initiative to go save him. And I thought that was a good little thing that they did. But that should have been the movie, really. This movie does what I hate when movies do this, is when they have way too many plot threads going on. They don't know what to focus on. They have one plot thread that they introduce, solve it halfway through, and then introduce other things. And it's that other curse of just like, it's just a movie that could have been a season of a show. And if they were going to do that, write the story, they might as well have just made it Mandalorian Season 4. But what I think they really should have done was cut it off at Season 2, leave it alone, make this be the Mando and Grogu return movie, and there you go. The movie would have been about them reuniting, flip the switch a little bit, show Grogu's time for training, and make it a Grogu Saves Mando movie. Bring them together. I don't know. But it would have been better than this. This movie has weird dialogue too. Like, you have these moments that are where they give us information and then it's repeated again just a few minutes later. For example, for Mando to complete his mission, he needs to go save the nephew of the Hutt, Rada the Hutt, Stinky from the Clone Wars animated movie, Jabba the Hutt's son. He goes to these fighting pits, this prison or whatever, where he's stuck in some fighting pits, and Rada the Hutt tells him when he goes to save him, "Oh, I wasn't kidnapped. I'm here, and I'm doing this to gain glory and live out of my father's shadow." Mando decides, "Okay, I'll just buy you out of your contract." Fine. Goes to the pitmaster, says, "Hey, let me buy him out of his contract." Pitmaster says, "No." So then what happens is he goes back to Rada the Hutt to just break him out instead. And the Rada the Hutt says again, "Hey, I don't need you to save me. I'm here because I'm fighting to gain glory and to outlive my father's shadow." So we just heard this like 2 scenes prior, okay? We're not on our phones, at least we're not supposed to be. In the theater, we're staring at the screen. This isn't a streaming show. This is a movie. You don't need to repeat the information to us. Oh man, this movie really frustrated me. It does say a lot that at this point, 2 indie horror movies are doing financially better than a big budget Star Wars movie. When was the last time that happened? And I mean, it's amazing. Indie horror, indie movies in general, mid-budget movies should be supported in the theater, but it's just so crazy to me that a Star Wars movie came out within the same month as Obsession and Backrooms, and they're both doing significantly better. And it's because people are tired of this. They're tired of the effortless, bland churn out of these movies that are just out and have no effort in them because they know you'll just go see them because of the logo. We're tired of it. Put effort into these movies. Stop keeping it at, "Oh, it looks pretty, put it out." Stop doing that. It's enough, and we've already proven it. And Obsession has made 20 times its budget or something, while Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu is just barely breaking even. But now what has happened is people are flocking to the indie horror movie, and it's fantastic. But you know what it's actually evidence of? That we're tired of this. We're tired of you saying, "You know what, make it look pretty, put the logo on it, put it out, they'll come out and see it anyway." And I mean, this movie's done fine, so in some degree that is true, but not many people are talking about it. Now that they're talking about Obsession, it's because Obsession, despite its concept not being new, is still more original and has just more life to it than this. And that's what people want. They want life in their movies. And this has none of it. Alright, I could keep going on and on about how much this movie just really aggravates me, but this video would be like 2 hours long. So I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to hand it off to you. What did you think of this movie, if you saw already? How do you feel about the state of Disney Star Wars right now? I personally haven't been keeping up with it. I've not seen Maul, Shadow Lord, or anything like that, which I hear is pretty good. But did you think that Disney really fumbled the bag on making Star Wars relevant again in movie theaters? Or do you think, maybe this review is a little too cynical. No, I think people are really going to resonate with this, and maybe you resonated with it too. Let me know down in the comments. Let's talk everything Star Wars, Disney, movies in general in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.